Welcome. Goodnight Mommy was released in 2015 and was directed by Veronika, Franz, and Severin Fiala. And it's about a mom who has facial reconstruction surgery, and her children don't think that it's really her. So...
Well, we're back to foreign movies.
Yeah,
our thing,
we are.
Right?
We are. So, it's weird. I really liked this movie the first time I watched it.
Yeah.
And it was 2 years ago. And it's really funny because for Christmas, I actually bought Goodnight Mommy again and sent it to my friend for him to review it. And he really liked it. And my other friend really likes it. And now we just watched it together. And I don't like it anymore.
I don't like it either. I very much did not like it. I feel like all the foreign movies we've been watching recently have been really good. Mm-hmm. And then this.
Yeah, it's weird because this movie is very, very critically regarded. Yeah. A lot of people love it. And you could see it has like those critical beats where, you know, the writers and stuff like that are like, oh, this film is fantastic because of this moment. But watching it the second time, it's so much worse.
It has good moments. But overall, to me, it just felt like it was dragging on and on and on. And it was so slow, and the pacing was not very well done. Yeah. There just wasn't a lot, I feel. Like
The biggest issue with this movie is its pacing.
Yeah, agreed.
The first, hour to, hour and 10 minutes is so boring. Mm-hmm. And you learn, a little bit of plot, but, it'll be, a little snippet, and then, 5 minutes of, oh, this really didn't amount to anything.
Yeah, and I feel like there's a lot of pointless dialogue, and even between dialogue, there's a lot of time. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, maybe they're trying to, do some nice camera shots, which they did have some nice camera shots.
Yeah.
But, it just, I was just come on already, talk, do something.
Because, the mom will be like, oh, did you have dinner? And then he just kind of sits there yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Silence for 10 seconds.
Yeah, long pauses, and
they were trying to go for a disconnect between the mom and Elias.
Yeah.
And that's definitely what they were going for, but in the end, it just became too dragged out.
Yeah. I felt that disconnect. It's just that, I don't know, it was just too... It made it unenjoyable. Because, yes, they did a good job making it feel like there was, that weird relationship between the mother and Elias. But in doing that, it just became boring.
Yeah. And in those little moments in between, this is going to be spoilers, so there's your spoiler warning right here. With the cat, I mean... How much that really didn't amount to anything.
Yeah.
That they discovered the cat.
No, you're right.
Feed it, and then the next day it's dead.
It's just dead, and then they put it in a big
and the fish
container
tank
of water. Yeah, in a fish tank.
Yeah, and the mom just walks in and is like, "Bet."
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, in the end, it explodes and causes everything to go on fire. But
it was so weird, and then I hated just those. In those disconnecting scenes, it felt like the mom would try to do too much. Or it felt like they're like, oh, we're gonna make Elias really creepy in this moment now.
Yeah. And
we didn't get enough of that creepiness for it to warrant at that specific moment. Because the first time I was like, oh, okay, this is all good. Watching it the second time, I was like, this is very soon. I don't remember this happening then. While also at the same time, I was like, oh my god, I've been waiting 20 minutes for this specific moment to happen.
Exactly. Yeah, and there was that one point where you're like, okay, the kids have to look away now, right? Because this is when things are going to actually start happening. And even then, it was when is something actually going to happen?
That was so funny, because I was like, this is the moment, something's going to happen. And then it was 15 minutes later.
Yeah, exactly.
The first thing where I was like, oh!
Yeah. So...
And it brings up the discussion, does 20 to 30 minutes of of good scenes make up for a boring movie, which I know my friend brings up Rosemary's Baby with that a lot. And with this movie, it doesn't.
Yeah, I would say it doesn't. I just don't think there's enough. There's not enough to fill or to be entertaining for that whole hour and 40 minutes.
Yeah, hour and 40 minutes, hour 45, somewhere in between there.
Yeah, there just wasn't enough going on.
Yeah.
It just felt like really empty and drawn out. Like, I feel like it might have made a good short movie almost. Like, you know, like half an hour. Or...
Yeah, I agree. It definitely could have been a little short film because you have the mom, you have the, you know, stuff covering her face.
Yeah.
You have that disconnect between them. You can show that in a scene or two, which they do a good job at the beginning of doing. You just don't realize that they're going to do it for like 10 more nights before something happens. Yeah. And after that, you know, you have her take off the bandages, which that moment was like, oh, she's a human. Yeah. She's actually, that scene's good. And then when the kids are like, okay, nah, like, this is not our mom. We're gonna tie you up and you're gonna answer us. Yeah. And that's definitely the best part of the movie in general. Once that moment happens and it switches from psychological to, I don't want to say slasher because it doesn't classify as a slasher.
It's a little torture-y.
Yeah, it's like torture porn, basically, with not much torture porn to be had.
But the torture that was there, like, the effects were good. Like, when they cut her lips. Yeah. Because they super glue her lips, and then, you know, she has to eat. So they cut it open, and they accidentally snip her lip. And that actually was stressful to watch. Yeah. Like, they did a good job with that.
So would you say, and this is a spoiler now for Evil Dead 2013, which lip cutting was worse? The Evil Dead one or the Goodnight Mommy one? Ooh. Because they're both pretty bad.
Yeah. I don't know. I can't think, when did it happen in Evil Dead?
When, the first girl to die. Not Mia. I think her name's Nicole.
Right, when she was in the tub, in the shower. Like, yeah. Yeah. Ooh.
And she, like, turns around and you just, like, see, like, her lips are gone. She's, like, cutting. She's like...
Yeah, I think Goodnight Mommy was worse. Because it seemed so much... Like, it seemed a lot more realistic. Like, yeah. That you could just, like, snip a chunk off your lip rather than, like, cutting the whole side of your face off, you know? Yeah. I'd say that's why, like, it was more stressful for me watching them cut the glue.
Mm-hmm. I think also it was a little bit more suspenseful. Yeah. That moment, too. Because you're like, oh my god, they're going to cut it. Yeah. And it's just so slow, like the rest of the movie. With them just kind of going, like... that much, and Lucas just in the background like, woo! Yeah. Yeah. So, there's probably, I think, 2 big twists in this movie. The first one being, the mom is actually the mom. Yeah. And the second one being, there's the 2 twins, you know, of course, when you see the cover of the movie, you're gonna see Elias, who is the one son who the mom talks to, and there's Lucas, who the mom doesn't talk to. Well, the reason she doesn't talk to him is Lucas is dead.
Yeah, he's dead. and that's something we were able to figure that out pretty early on. Yeah. Like, we all, like, figured out, like, no one is talking to this other kid.
It was so funny because when we were watching it, literally the first scene where you have both of the kids and the mom, and she doesn't pour Lucas a glass. Yeah. And
it's in the kitchen.
Yeah, in the kitchen. I just remember your mom was like, yeah, the son's dead.
Yeah,
I was like, oh my god.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't realize it at that point, but then when they were, like, playing, what is it, Heads Up, or whatever it's called, and, like, she's obviously, like, not addressing Lucas at all. So she's either really petty and mad about something, or he's dead.
And I like how they try to, like, throw your expectations off a little bit when Elias is like, just apologize to her. Because you're like, oh, maybe they had an argument, and that's why. But also you think, that's his mom. She's just not going to feed him dinner. Yeah. Or give him anything. Like, the argument was that bad to not give her 9-year-old or 10-year-old child nourishment and food. Yeah. Like,
it was kind of confusing sometimes because, like, when they had her down on the bed, right? I think Lucas held her head down while Elias super glued her mouth shut.
Yeah.
So at times it was like Lucas was interacting with the mother, but I don't know. Like that did make it confusing.
Yeah, we don't know if like there was a malevolent like spirit that was also holding down her head in those moments, or if it was just Elias's imagination that he was doing that, and really Elias the whole time was also holding her down. They don't do, well, I don't want to say they don't do a good job of trying to show it, because it's not something that really needs to be shown or explained, but it's something that you do notice.
Yeah. That
Lucas interacts a little bit too much with the mom in the torture scenes.
Yeah.
And like you said, he even puts on the tape on her mouth.
Yeah. Yeah. That did, I mean, I don't know if they were trying to throw us off, you know, like make it seem like he's not dead, but, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes it inconsistent, or like, because like, does it make it inconsistent that he was able to actually physically hold down the mom? Because I don't think Elias would have been able to get the super glue on by himself. You know?
I will say that both of her hands were tied and her legs, so there was really nothing she could do.
But I feel like she could have like...
Yeah, she definitely could have done more.
Yeah, so...
So what would you give this movie?
I would say, because... so I did like the cinematography, right? I thought the acting was good, but because it was so long and drawn out, I would probably give it like a 5 out of 10, I would say.
Yeah, I'm definitely around you. I think I would give it a 5.5 out of 10. I know after we watched it, I was like, that's probably a little bit below average, but even just talking about it now more, seeing there was more stuff that we did like about it, it's definitely above average, but I think it's one of those movies that just follows like every like critically acclaimed movie, so that's why it got nominated for so many awards. People loved it, and I could see if you love it, why you love it.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, I think it had a lot of, like, good things about it, and, like, the writing, like, the concept was good, and there was probably, like, a lot of, like, metaphors or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
Things that are, like, deeper that you kind of have to dig into to understand, but, you know, that's all great, and that's probably why critics loved it, but as far as, like, me actually enjoying it, I didn't, you know?
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
The second time just was not fun watching it. The next review that we're going to be doing together, I'll spoil it now, is Evil Dead, the 2013 remake. And you guys actually loved it. Like, you thought it was very good.
I did like it.
And I did not expect you guys to like that one. Originally going in, I thought you were going to like Goodnight Mommy more than Evil Dead. But I'm very excited to review that movie with you and do a full spoiler review, because there's a lot to talk about with that movie.
Yeah, I definitely have a lot of thoughts on it.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Yeah, so...
So thank you everyone for watching this review, and of course, thank you to Austin Michael for being here reviewing with me. I love having you here.
Yes, I love doing this, so...
But let's flash forward to the next review.